Auto loans, in addition to school loans, are some of the first loans that we often take out as adults. And so it's important to kind of understand how much you do end up paying on a car dependent on the interest rate. So it's good to shop around for different interest rates, whether that be through the dealership, your own bank, even a different bank, um, or even online. So if you just bought a car for 18,500 and you take a 5-year loan out at a 4.9% interest rate, how much will your monthly payment be? So going off of the notes from the previous page, I snagged the formula for monthly payments. So remember, this is after it is solved for R. And so your P is your principal amount. So here's our P. I, remember, is your interest rate divided by 12. And so we're going to take the 0.049 over 12. And 5-year loan. So N is 5 times 12, which is 60. And then we can plug that all in to solve it. So we have 18.5 times 0.049 over 12 over 1 minus, or plus, excuse me, 0.049 over 12, all raised to the negative 60. And again, if you're careful with your parentheses, you can really plug all this into your calculator at one time. But you do need those extra parentheses there to separate the numerator from the denominator. So I got 348.27. Again, if I were you, I wouldn't just take my word for it. Go ahead and practice typing that into your graphing calculator and make sure you get the same answer. So when you try these on your own, you know you're typing them in correctly. All right, so what is the balance of your loan after 3 of the 5 years? So we took a 5-year loan. We're paying this per month, but we want to find out what that remaining balance is going to be. And so again, that's this formula, which was on the previous page of your notes. And we're just going to plug everything in. The only thing that will change is our N is going to be 3 times 12, so 36. About 3. And so our principal amount is 18.5. 1 plus I, which is 0.049 over 12, raised to the 36, minus R. Plug all this in. Remember, R is what we just found, so 348.27. This is R equals this. Okay, so double check you have everything plugged in the right way. I would still type this all in at once. Again, just minding your parentheses on this last part where you have that fraction. Don't be afraid to use lots of parentheses as you're typing these out. Okay, and again, I use extra parentheses. I always box off my top and bottom. I got 7946.5. Actually, that rounds up. 595 rounds up to 0.60. So that's the balance. How much do you actually end up paying for the car? Okay, so we're paying $348.27 a month for 60 months. Yeah, it was a 5-year loan. And so we will actually end up paying whatever that product is. So 20,896.20 for that car. Which is, you know, quite a bit more than what you bought the car for by about $2,000, a little over $2,000, about $2,400 more, which interest rate wise for a vehicle is not that bad. When you have a car, is the payment the only expense you have? Go ahead and answer this on your own. Think about what other expenses come with a car. So just being able to afford the payment isn't the only thing to think about when you're buying a car. What else do you need to consider in your decision? And then what kind of options do you think you have for emergency maintenance when you don't have the cash? Okay. What kind of options are there out there when you don't have the cash? One of those options is some place like payday loans or those quick cash places. This is a $40 billion a year industry. And there's a lot of talk surrounding it because you get your money quickly, but their interest rates are very, very high. So the pros, pretty much anyone can get one. They take less than 30 minutes to get approved. They're easy. They're open much longer than banks. So if you're working hours or doing something where you can't get to a bank, they're open a lot longer than a typical bank is. They don't always require credit checks, so people with bad credit can still get a loan, which is good for them in terms of that, being able to get cash for something that they might need. The cons is the fees are astronomical, which is why they're often in the news, because it's not a small interest rate like 4.9%. For most states, a loan fee is $15 for every $100 borrowed. And you're only borrowing the money for 2 weeks at a time. So at the end of that 2 weeks, you have to pay the money back or renew the loan. So you're adding additional fees on top of the original fees that you had. So at the end of the day, you end up paying back a lot more money than you borrowed, and the time span is short. So if you're in a dire emergency, sure, they're an option. Okay. But personal advice to you, I would not use them unless absolutely necessary. And so you can kind of read a little bit more about them at that link. Okay, so for example, let's say your car broke down and it's going to cost $500 to fix, and you don't have the cash in the bank to pay for it, but you will have enough at your next paycheck. You need your car fixed right away so you can keep going to school and work. What do you do for money, assuming your parents won't loan it to you? So you can try to get a loan from a bank if they're open, but that usually takes several days or even weeks to get approved. You may stop by one of the many payday loan places. You easily secure a loan for $500. So how much is the fee? How much interest is that per day? And if it took you a month, 4 weeks to pay it off, what kind of interest rate is that? Okay, so remember it's $15 for every 100, so we have 500s. So we're going to pay a $75 fee. So the interest per day, we have $75 divided by our 14. So we have about a 5.36% dollar fee each day that we're paying in interest. if we take 4 weeks or 28 days to pay it off, we're going to have for our fees 536 times those 28 days instead of times just 14. So $150 in just fees. Okay. Plus we borrowed 500. So that's $650 total to get a $500 loan. Just for a month. So if you think about that last example with your car and the 4.9% and how we really, after that many years, only paid like $2,000 in interest. This is astronomical compared to that. So if we're doing $15 on 100, and we divide that per day, then we're paying about $1.07 per day. If you're looking at years to pay this back, then we would multiply that by days in a year. So we have about $391 in a year if you kept going. Right? That's about a 391% interest rate over the course of this loan if you kept renewing and taking this out for a year. Right, you guys will be completing this loan project. So follow the links and answer the questions. And then finish up the project from there.